Let's talk earn versus the burn on this episode of the Hawaii Retirement Show. All right, welcome everyone. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Hawaii Retirement Show. So on today's episode, I wanted to talk about your earn versus your burn. And what I mean by that is how much you make and how much you spend. And I can't take credit for the earn versus burn. I got to give credit to Scott Galloway, who's a professor at NYU Stern School of Business and host of the Prof G podcast or the Prof G show, which is a great podcast. Check it out. And he's got so much great content on markets and business insight. And I do like his idea here of your earn versus your burn, right? And I think a lot of times, especially when you're young and on the come up, right? You're focusing on your earn. I need a better job. I need a promotion. I need to make more money, right? I need to elevate my lifestyle. I want a bigger house. I want a nicer car. And for all those things, you got to earn, right? But it's good to periodically, and I think we do this as we get older naturally, to pause and check back in on our burn, right? Especially when you're talking about retirement planning. I mean, retirement planning starts with figuring out, what is my burn? How much do I need in my retirement years to live the lifestyle, I desire, right? So you got to establish the burn first to find out whether you're there, you're close, you're on your way, or you're far off, right? The other thing I like about Scott how he defines wealth, and he defines wealth as passive income that's greater than your burn, right? And that's really what we're all looking for in retirement, is to have enough passive income from your investments, from your pensions, from Social Security, real estate maybe, but whatever it might be, you want enough passive income that you can sustain your lifestyle and your burn in retirement. So I think it's important to take the time, check back in on your burn, right? See where you can trim the fat. I see a lot of lifestyle drift, and this is, something that's always been there. People call it keeping up with the Joneses. But, you start to drift your lifestyle up and up, and before you know it, you're kind of living this master of the universe, to use a Scott Galloway term, lifestyle. And it's not a bad thing at all. It's just it can spiral out of control if it goes unchecked, right? It's really easy to keep spending and spending. I like Yvon Chouinard says, it's easy to complicate life. It's really hard to simplify it. And I think the same is true for your spending and your earning, right? But both are important. I'm not saying, focusing a lot of attention on your earn isn't the right route either. It's kind of a good balance between the two, right? You want to balance the weight of your earn and your burn. I like to use an exercise metaphor in that I always think of your earn as like the exercise, and the burn is kind of your diet. And everybody knows the cliche, you can't outwork a bad diet. So if you're just a terrible spender and you just spending, swipe that card left and right, not really being conscious and intentional. I think intentional is a good word. Intentional about your spending. No matter how much exercise or how much earning you can do, you're not going to outwork it, right? You're not going to outwork a bad diet, and you're not going to out-earn bad spending habits. And, that's different for everybody. Everybody's got a different lifestyle that they like. Everybody's got different needs and wants and things that make them happy in life. And I pass no judgment. I'm just merely stating that, it's good to revisit your burn once in a while. So the last point I want to make is kind of continuing along that exercise metaphor is I heard it described before as your earning muscles and your saving muscles are two different muscles, right? And everybody knows you don't use it, you lose it, right? If you're not using your muscles, they atrophy, and it's harder to maintain them you know, as we get older. Well, I think the same's true for your savings muscle. You know, you need to exercise it. You need to practice it. And the more you practice your savings muscle, the more second nature and the easier it is, right? The less sore you are the next morning, the more you're exercising, right? So your earning muscles and your saving muscles are different, just to kind of keep hammering down here on this exercise metaphor. But to wrap it up, earn versus burn. And as you start to look to retirement planning, you kind of got to start with that burn and see and really establish what's the lifestyle I need in retirement. What is that number? And then how can I generate enough passive income to maintain that lifestyle? And if there's not enough passive income, maybe the solution is, you know, take a part-time job or continue to stay in the workforce a little later, whatever that might be. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions you want us to talk about on the show, please email it over to aloha@hawaiiretirementshow.com, and we'll catch everyone on the next one.
The opinions and statements presented on this show are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations. Never make any investment or financial decisions based on information offered on this show without first consulting your financial, legal, or tax advisor. All economic and performance information mentioned on the show is historical in nature and is not indicative of any future results. All indices mentioned on this show are unmanaged and cannot be invested in directly. All information is believed to be from reliable sources. However, we make no representation as to its completeness or accuracy. Lastly, all opinions expressed by Jason Cutitta and any guests on the show are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of or are endorsed by ToBA Financial. For Jason Cutitta, investment advisory services are offered through ToBA Financial LLC, a registered investment advisor offering advisory services in the state of Hawaii and in other jurisdictions where exempt from registration.